COVID, the COVID year while he was at Ohio State. Now here they are teammates. 2nd and 7. Caught. Austin cuts ahead. Austin to the 20. Foot race to the 10. He's across for the touchdown.
The Pittsburgh Steelers just keep doing it year after year after year. And it literally makes me laugh at all those so-called Mike Tomlin haters. We literally are watching greatness. He just doesn't lose. And no, 9-8 is not mediocrity. I also just can't stand the people that say he has been mediocre, because 2 decades of above 500 football with a Super Bowl is not mediocrity. Not even close to it. But anyways, in week 3, the Steelers hosted the Chargers, who are a team that was 2-0 coming into the game with a lot of confidence. But as always, the Pittsburgh defense took control and the offense did a great job of managing the game. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to take a deep dive into what has led the Steelers to this 3-0 start, and if they can maintain it and keep doing this throughout the rest of the season. And I'm also going to recap the win over the Chargers. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe we can get there super fast. Alright, so let's start out with a recap of the game. The first quarter was rather quiet until about the 3-minute mark when Justin Herbert threw a 27-yard touchdown pass to Quentin Johnston. But the Steelers did respond when Justin Fields took one in himself to tie the game up at 7. Late in the second quarter, just before half, Herbert led the Chargers down the field again, but the Pittsburgh defense held up strong, holding Cameron Dicker to a 28-yard field goal. So the Chargers went into the locker room with a 10-7 lead. To start the second half with 9 minutes left in the third, Chris Boswell tied the game up with a 38-yard field goal of his own. And then in typical Steelers fashion, in the fourth, they had another field goal to go up by 3 with a 13-10 lead. The Steelers really do play a disgusting brand of ground and pound football. They don't put up a lot of points, but they get things done and they play defense. They forced a punt, then Justin Fields drove down the field and hit Calvin Austin on a huge 55-yard touchdown to put things out of reach for LA with a score of 20-10. And after some more outstanding defense, that's exactly what the final score stayed at. I think it's safe to say that with a 3-0 record, Justin Fields is not going to be on the sideline anytime soon. He hasn't played perfectly, but he's done exactly what Mike Tomlin has asked of him, and has made the plays that had to be made. These exact words came out of Tomlin's mouth. I like that in a leader. He doesn't ride the emotional roller coaster when things are going good or things are going bad. Guys can rally around that. He's steady, he's a competitor, he likes to compete. He doesn't turn down things, he's aggressive in play, scrambling, and so forth. It's just been fun to get to know him, and not only know him as a guy, but know him as a competitor. Here's what Justin Fields himself said in his post-game interview.
Yeah, the first half, we didn't run the ball like we wanted to. So, second half, especially late in the game when we had to run the ball, the running backs and the O-line did a great job. Even in situations where we knew we had to run the ball, they did a great job executing. Naj and CP, they were hitting the hole great, and we were getting first downs after first down. So anytime you can get that run game going, and this just helps us out overall. So
Fields has completed 73.3% of his passes, 55 of 78 for 518 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. He also rushed for 90 yards with 1 touchdown. I want to see him improve in all areas, to be quite honest with you, Tomlin said. Knowing what those areas of needing improvement are difficult sometimes when you don't have a shared experience. So a component of me getting to know him is just maintaining that posture, challenging him to improve in all areas as we gain more experience together. I'll be able to narrow that focus on things that become repetitive or trending. And I think what Tomlin said really says a lot about how dangerous this team can be. They are 3-0, and all he is thinking about is the areas they need to improve on. I think by week 6 or 7, when the offense is in more of a flow, the Steelers may be hitting on all cylinders. This could actually be a 12-win team, which is something nobody thought was possible before the year started. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about some of the other aspects of the offense. Najee Harris was recently seen in a sling in the locker room, but reports have come out that he will play in the game against the Colts. So no issue there, and Harris is really on the cusp of having a breakout season. I think Pittsburgh finally has figured out the formula for how to use him. He's not a guy that's going to have big breakout explosive runs, but he can wear a defense out with those 4 to 5 yard runs throughout the game. And then when you add the rushing ability of Fields on top of that, I think it really gives the offense a lot of balance. balance. And for the guys up front blocking, we have seen a major improvement in the offensive line in 2024 as opposed to recent years past. And in that Chargers game, they had the LA defense basically tapping out by the end of the fourth quarter. It wasn't an illusion either. I won't go as far as saying the Chargers completely quit, but it was clear they didn't have the same effort and energy as they did in the first half. They imposed their will on the game and they feasted once they smelled blood in the water. Playing physical football, that's what we are trying to do, said tackle Dan Moore Jr. in the locker room after the game. You could definitely tell we wore them down. It was clear to the offensive line that the Chargers were just done. I think it was that first drive coming out of the half, that first long drive we had. We didn't finish with a touchdown, but we put up 3 points on the board. I think at that moment, we felt the energy shifting. And then obviously our defense fed off that. It just felt like it was going our way. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the wide receivers. With the way Arthur Smith runs this offense, it's pretty clear none of the guys out wide are going to put up incredible numbers on the stat sheet this season, but as we saw with that Calvin Austin touchdown, there is plenty of opportunity for the guys to make big game-changing plays, and Justin Fields is good enough to make the throws. Now switching gears to the defense, the area the Steelers have built their whole culture around, the best way I can describe this unit is that they just get the job done. The Colts offensive coordinator literally said that he is going to treat this Pittsburgh D like a high-powered offense because of how good they are. And honestly, he's right. So far this season, the Steelers' best offense has been the defense. They always force fumbles and make things happen to get the offense in a good position to score. They have disruptors on every level. TJ Watt can line up anywhere and make plays, the secondary has been beyond solid, and the unit has mastered that bend don't break approach. Barely ever do they give up 7 points. 4-time All-Pro edge TJ Watt, who had 3 tackles and a sack, let the play do the talking. We have a confident group, obviously. They knew they were a top defense, Watt said. We don't do a lot of talking, we just like to go out on the field and play and have fun. And I feel like we did that today. The Steelers registered 5 sacks, 2 from second-year pro Nick Herbig, who had a breakout game after edge Alex Highsmith left the game with a groin injury. The Steelers held LA to just 61 rushing yards, only 44 from J.K. Dobbins, who entered the game averaging 133 yards through 2 weeks. This week was 2 trains on the track. 2 top defenses coming in, Watt said. We know they love to run the ball. We love stopping the run. Haven't looked at the film yet, but it seems like we outperformed today. But that's a hell of a football team, and it means nothing if we don't get back in the lab and learn from all this and keep going. Anyways, looking ahead, the Steelers will go on the road to face a Colts team that is coming off a big win against the Chicago Bears. Anthony Richardson is young, he's mobile, and he's hungry. The defense is once again going to have to be dominant from the jump, and I would love to see Justin Fields be a little more aggressive through the air, but at the same time, if they stay on brand and just chip away throughout the game, I don't see any reason why this team can't move to 4-0. But let me know how you guys are feeling about this game in the comments below. For some reason, I just have a hunch that George Pickens is going to have a big performance. To me, it feels like he is due, but we will see. That's all I have for this one. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.